One of the things is that when I'm doing a reading or I'm connecting with somebody, I ask for information that will be for that person's highest and best good. Because, or information that we can change. Because if I were to tell you, you know, you're going to get in a car accident tomorrow and there's nothing that you can do about it, how is that going to help you?
Right.
You know? So one of the things that I do is I ask them on the other side to give information that's going to help us. You know, if there's something that's going to go wrong in our life, what are the steps that we can take to change it or prevent it from happening? Because when people come to you, especially as being a psychic or a medium, it's because they need help. Maybe they're going through a rough time in their life, or they're going through, you know, a rough patch that they need a little bit of inspiration or need some guidance that, you know, can help them get themselves back on the right track. And that's the information that those on the other side can provide and want to talk about. They want to relay information that will put that person back on track and will help them within life, not something that's going to, you know, that they can't change, or, you know, that there's nothing they can do about it. And that's the reason why these messages are so important, and that's the reason why they oftentimes bring them through. So one time, one of the messages that really changed a person's life, and I think I'll always remember this, is that there was this woman who came to me for a reading, and, you know, she was from California, and she had like this, you know how people in California are, they're all like into like the whole healthy eating and so on and so forth, and exercising, and, you know, on the East Coast we're not so much like that. But she came for me for a reading, and there was like an urgent message that she had to go to the doctor. They were telling me that there was like some issues that were going on like within her woman areas, and that she had to go and get it checked out. And she was like, "This can't be, blah blah blah. You know, I eat perfectly. You know, I'm a jogger. I go running. Like you know, have this high energy about me. Like, you know, I don't think so." But she, you know, she kind of thought I was crazy. But she took my advice and she went, and come to find out there was some, they kept showing me like in front of me some, really clearly they showed me like some pre-cancer cells, like 3 like round discs, and come to find out like she had 3 like tumors that had formed down there when she went in. So I remember she called the office at like 12 midnight, you're never going to believe what happened. Like, you know, I went to the doctors like you told me, and, you know, they found this like within my body and whatnot, and she's like, am I going to be okay? And luckily, you know, those on the other side provided this information to her, and it was just so wonderful because they caught it just in time. They caught it before anything was, you know, it was precancerous, so she didn't have to worry about it, and, you know, she can still have children. She's doing fantastic, and, you know, she is a regular client of mine after that I still talk to. And it's messages like that that really show like there are people on the other side that are watching over us and really are right by our side. They can see things that we can't. A lot of people are nervous to come to a psychic or medium. I hear it all the time where it's not so much that people are skeptical, but I think that they're nervous about the information that they're going to hear. You know, a lot of people ask me all the time, you know, first thing they say is, I don't want bad news. You know, I don't want to know, you know, if someone's going to die or if there's going to be a death in the family. And thankfully, I don't receive information like that. I never know if somebody's going to die or if there's going to be a death or anything like that, you know, because those on the other side, they only bring up messages that are meant to help us and inspire us. So, you know, even during a live event, nothing that will invade your privacy will come up. Nothing will come up that's uncomfortable or that's going to be something that you don't feel comfortable talking about. One of the things that I feel, you know, during these events is that everybody walks away with a sense of peace when they come and they experience firsthand the power of connecting with a loved one on the other side. Everybody immediately feels comforted. They feel as though they can move mountains afterwards. It's almost like you see the people come, and it's so funny because you see the people coming into an event, you know, that I'm performing at, and you have these people, you know, they're at the bar, they're getting like 6 different drinks, you know, because they're so nervous. They're taking tissue paper and they're putting it in their pocketbooks. They're, you know, all prepared for, like, you know, the worst. They're sweating and whatnot, and it's funny because, you know, when I go up and I start pulling people out of the events, you can feel their hands and they're shaking and they're clammy and whatnot. But then the minute the messages start to come out and the minute people start to be read in the room, you just see everybody start to calm down. And all of a sudden people are laughing and there's tears of happiness and they're crying and there's just so much emotion. The energy in the room is incredible. And it's amazing to see how the people react and just how comforted everyone is when they're leaving. And it's like the only way they can describe it to you is like a family reunion. And it's funny that a lot of times people make lifelong friendships at my events as well, because they'll come and they'll sit down next to people who they don't know, and the person next to them may receive a reading, and then they start to talk about it and whatnot, and they start to see like their families are in common, and they just start to become friends. It's just you feel like you know everybody at the end of the event, and I try to keep them intimate for that reason as well. I am so humbled too by the hundreds of letters and testimonials and comments that I get written on Facebook. It's amazing to see, how many people, how many people, you don't realize how much these messages change their lives. It's humbling to see just the transformations that take place day to day to day. And it really is what kind of keeps me going and pushes me to reach as many people as I possibly can. And I feel as though I'm very fortunate to be on WAAF for that reason, just for the, amazing ability to be able to reach as many people as I do, and to see the messages that come in during the segment as people are texting into the radio station. One man even said that he was crying so much from the segment that he didn't think that he could go into work that day because he was just so touched by the readings that were coming in, and people who were saying that they were driving in their car and it just makes their Friday morning, because it helps them to feel closer to a loved one as well. Hearing the different messages and hearing the experiences that people are sharing. It's like you almost, when you're listening to it and you hear a reading that sounds similar to what you went through, it's almost like, wow, they went through that too, or wow, their mother's stepping forward. I know that my mom's there as well, or maybe they're receiving this sign from their mother, and the person who's listening in the car is feeling the same thing. And it's amazing about what they can take away from just listening on the airwaves and how much closer they feel with their loved ones in heaven, and also to their loved ones who had passed.